what daily life was really like for Soviet Gulag prisoners. At the far edges of a cold land, days in the camps moved with a slow, steady pattern. Morning arrived quietly, with pale light touching wooden barracks and breath rising like mist. People woke together, wrapped in thin warmth, and followed familiar paths through snow and dust. Work came in simple motions, repeated and unhurried, guided by routine rather than choice. In this still rhythm, time felt long, and the world narrowed to footsteps, tools, and the soft creak of timber. Meals were modest and quiet, shared without hurry, the taste plain and expected. Evenings settled early, and tired bodies found benches or bunks, listening to wind brush the walls. Letters, when they came, were held gently, read slowly, then folded with care. Small comforts lived in memory, in songs hummed under breath, in thoughts of rivers and fields far away. Within these soft moments, endurance became calm, like a long winter night. Night returned with a deep hush, and lamps dimmed to a patient glow. The camp rested, wrapped in silence and shared dreams. Stars watched from above, steady and distant, as breathing slowed and minds drifted. In the dark, worries softened, edges smoothed by fatigue and quiet hope. The hours stretched gently, uncounted and kind, until thought thinned, and the stillness held everything, fading into a calm that lingered and lingered. The morning light came again, pale and gentle, brushing over frost-covered ground and quiet paths. Movements were slow, measured, almost like a whispered rhythm. Faces rose, eyes adjusting to soft brightness, and small tasks began. There was no hurry, only the simple, steady flow of the day. Each step carried weight, yet in its repetition there was a strange comfort, a way to keep the mind tethered to something familiar. Meals were shared in silence, each bite taken slowly, each swallow thoughtful. Conversations were rare, soft as a breeze through bare trees. Hands worked in careful motion, shaping, lifting, and moving, guided more by habit than desire. Even in small gestures, there was a quiet dignity, a gentle acknowledgement of presence. Outside, the cold stretched across open fields, glimmering lightly under the pale sky, as if the world itself breathed in a hushed and endless sigh. As evening fell, the world softened again, shadows deepening without hurry. People settled into the stillness, blankets drawn close, hearts slowing alongside the dimming light. A hush spread, carrying away lingering thoughts and leaving only calm. Breath mingled with the night air, steady and warm, as quiet moments folded into one another. And in that gentle, endless quiet, the mind drifted, the body eased, and everything slowly, softly, faded into the stillness that held the night. The night stretched wide and quiet, wrapping the camp in a gentle, soft darkness. Light from distant stars touched the frozen earth, pale and steady, like a soft whisper across the world. Inside the barracks, bodies lay still, warmed by simple blankets, breathing slow and even. Thoughts moved like drifting clouds, soft and unhurried, settling lightly before they disappeared into the quiet. Outside, the wind moved softly through trees and open fields, carrying nothing but calm. Each sound was gentle, a muted rhythm that blended with the steady, quiet pulse of sleep. Memories of simpler places, of sunlit waters and gentle hills, floated through the mind like fragile lanterns, barely flickering, enough to guide the imagination without stirring it. In this hush, the world felt small and gentle, as if it too were breathing slowly, in and out without hurry. Time dissolved into quiet warmth, and every worry, every edge of thought, softened and smoothed. The dark held everything gently, like a patient hand, and even the mind's restlessness gave way to stillness. Breathing became deeper, steadier, and the small noises of the night seemed distant, safe and slow. And so the silence lingered, carrying everything softly, until the calm wrapped all around, drifting gently, fading ever so quietly. A pale light hinted at the edges of the sky, soft and unobtrusive, brushing lightly across snow and timber. Inside, the camp remained still, bodies resting in the quiet warmth of blankets, each breath a gentle rise and fall. Sounds were distant, muted by the hush of the night, and even the smallest movement seemed slow, deliberate, measured. There was a calm in the repetition of simple tasks, a quiet comfort in familiar routines that stretched without rush or concern. Footsteps outside left soft impressions on frost, and the wind whispered gently through bare branches, carrying a sense of patience and stillness. Inside, hands rested, eyes closed, minds wandering like soft clouds across distant fields and quiet rivers. There were no demands, no urgency, only the soft cadence of existence, the quiet rhythm of day blending into night. Every small sensation, every subtle sound, felt muted and gentle, as if the world itself had slowed to watch, unhurried and serene. Evening deepened again, settling over the camp like a soft, comforting blanket. Hearts beat steadily, and the world outside seemed to hold its breath alongside the sleepers within. Thoughts thinned, drifting like pale mist across a calm lake, fading slowly with every slow, measured breath. And in that hush, in that gentle, endless quiet, the night lingered softly, carrying everything into the pale, calm shadows, fading, fading, until only the stillness remained. The camp lay wrapped in a gentle darkness, quiet and unbroken. Light from distant stars touched the frozen earth with a soft, steady glow. Inside, bodies rested, breathing slow and even, each exhale blending with the hush that filled the space. Time seemed to stretch, measured not by hours but by the gentle rhythm of breath and the soft, steady pulse of stillness. Outside, the wind moved softly, brushing past bare trees and open fields, carrying only the quiet hush of the night. Shadows shifted gently, unnoticed, as if the world itself had paused to listen. Thoughts drifted like fragile leaves on a slow, calm river, floating lightly, unhurried, carrying memories and small imaginings that came and went like soft, pale lanterns. There was a tender ease in this quiet, a slow unfolding of calm that settled deep, wrapping everything it touched. Night stretched further, deep and infinite, holding the camp in its gentle embrace. Every worry, every edge of thought, softened and faded, leaving only stillness. Breathing became deeper, steadier, mingling with the quiet hum of the dark. And in that soft, endless hush, the world seemed to pause, and the calm lingered softly, quietly, fading ever so gently into the quiet of the night. Good night.